told the team today is November 1st, right? First day of a new month. And for us, we've got 4 big games coming up over the next 25 days. So, we got to put 100% of our focus forward into these last 4 opportunities that we have. And, there's a saying in football that people remember November, right? And whether you've had a good season up to this point or a disappointing season up to this point, right, people always remember your last month and how you finish. And, I've been on teams early in my time there at Clemson where maybe we were 8-0 early on and everybody's fired up. And then, we dropped 3 of the last 4, and that's what people remember from that season. And so it goes both ways. And at the end of the day, we can't do anything about, the previous 8 games. And we got to put that in the rearview mirror and really just kind of get focused and locked into each of these last 4 opportunities that we have. Start off with Temple. Temple is a very dangerous team. When you really study them and watch the video, obviously they had a close one and a loss there in overtime to Navy, a good Navy team this past week. But really what stands out about Temple is their defense. Temple's very good with their front 7. They're number 4 in the country in TFLs with 70 through 8 games, pretty impressive. They're number 5 in the country in sacks out of 130 FBS teams with 29 sacks. 2 of their defensive linemen, both Jordan and Varner, are both tied for second place with the most sacks in the country with 6.5 each. And then Leighton Jordan is number 3 in the country with 14 TFLs. And Varner's number 12 in the country with 11.5 TFLs. And then also defensively, they're number 5 in the country with fewest passing yards given up on defense, giving up only 166 passing yards on defense. So very similar to the other defenses that we've played the last few weeks up to this point. Really, really good up front. You got to be really careful in your pass protection, and that's going to be a big matchup again for us this week. On offense, they've really settled in on their quarterback, freshman E.J. Warner. Obviously, got great bloodlines there. His dad being an NFL Hall of Famer. But really, since he's come in, he's given them some consistency, and he's thrown for maybe 940 yards in their last 4 conference games. So really developing his confidence in what they're doing offensively. So there's no doubt. I think they're very similar to us in a lot of ways. They've been close to beating Rutgers there early in the season. I think a 2-point loss. And then last week with an overtime loss there to Navy. They're going to be hungry. And it's going to be a good battle for us. Also, just want to say, I want to send our best to their head coach, Coach Stan Drayton. He was out last week recovering from an illness, and really hope that he gets back this week feeling better so he can be with his team this Saturday. So with that, I'll open it up for any questions.
When the season started, obviously, offensive line was your veteran thing. And due to injuries, you shifted some people around, people were playing different positions. How would you assess where you are on the offensive line right now, and what looks good?
We're gritty. We're gritty up there. From maybe the 5 starting offensive linemen from the first game to where we are now, it's definitely looks different. Demetris Harris is, he continues to give us everything he's got. He's still not 100%. He won't be 100% till the end of the season. We're having to kind of, be careful with his reps during practice. But Brian just told me that he's getting ready to start his 50th career start at USF, which would tie the most ever. So that's pretty impressive. And then I think the 27th in a row career start is pretty impressive there. And again, that's with a lot of injuries and a lot of things. But I think overall that group's done a good job. Again, it's kind of the year of the quarterback, who we've been playing in the league, and then the year of the defensive line. We played some really good defensive lines that are not just good in our league, but are top in the country in sacks. I think there's 3 teams in our league that are top 10 in sacks in the country, and by playing Temple, we'll have played all 3 of them there. So they've been battled. I think Darrell Bailey has been a guy thrown in the fire and done a solid job there. And then, having Mike Lofton here as well. Mike's been playing both guard and tackle. It's been good. And then now having Brad back. But I feel like, in a year where there's been a lot of inconsistencies and a lot of, ups and downs, I feel like the offensive line overall, despite some of the injuries and things we've had, has been consistent for us.
The offensive line, Jeff, Brad Cecil, Oracle Trophy nominee, just another example of people noticing the job he's doing on and off the field.
Yeah, Brad is incredible young man, and number one, he came from a great program at Bartram Trail. The Coach Sutherland, Darryl Sutherland, his coach at Bartram Trail, just does an outstanding job with the culture and the program. And so, Brad coming here, he brought a lot of that with him, and just his leadership, his work ethic, discipline, accountability, all those things. He's got great energy. And again, he's a guy that, I think he's just about back to being 100%, but he had some, core issues going on and really played through that. But yeah, Brad's everything that you want on the field, off the field. He's been a great leader for us and really a great role model. We got a lot of younger players there on the offensive line that are watching and learning from some of those seniors, and Brad's been one of those guys that's been a great role model for them, and we'll definitely be missing Brad after this season.
Gary makes it public yesterday, on social media that he's coming back. Just how important is that for stability
Yeah.
of the quarterback room heading into 23?
Yeah, that's definitely important, and obviously the season didn't go the way that Gary wanted it to. I think if he'd have been able to stay healthy, I think he was getting ready to have a great second half to the season. And but just watching how he's responded, right? You think about people, but when you go through serious adversity, that's when you really learn about people. And so watching Gary go through, beginning of the season wasn't, everything that he wanted it to be. Then he came back and was really in a groove, playing well, and then he got injured. And then, for him to voluntarily, he came to us, wanted to put off his surgery a week because he wanted to go to Temple to be there with Trey and the other guys for their first start. I think that showed a lot of leadership, and he'll have his surgery this Thursday. And even though that's a challenge, there's a lot of guys in the NFL, quarterbacks, that have had that surgery on their throwing shoulder and have come back. So I've got no doubt. Really, anytime you're going through these surgeries, whether it's an ACL, shoulder, it really, my experience being around it a lot, it really depends on the young man and just his kind of mental toughness and fortitude and work ethic and all that. Those guys come back stronger, and maybe other guys that aren't quite there come back weaker. And so I got no doubt that Gary will be back stronger, and definitely hate that it's because of the injury, but there's no doubt, excited that he's decided to be back with us next year.
Jeff, I know every week is an opportunity, but you look at this week particularly, here's a team that you beat last year, your favorite in the game, chance to get a road win, conference win. How big of an opportunity is it this week for you?
Yeah, it's a big opportunity, and what I told our players a little while ago is just because we beat them last year means nothing this year. I think they've got one returning starter on defense, and for them that was a really good thing because they've completely changed their defense from last year to where it is this year. I mean, they're truly outside of maybe one or two games that they've played extremely well, and it'll be a battle. So there's no doubt. I mean, we've you can go back and look at the teams that we've played up to this point, and we played some great teams that have had great quarterbacks and a lot of experienced guys and all that stuff. And we've got 4 more conference games to go, and so this is one of them that our guys know. We go out and play well, right? We got a chance to win. We go out and don't play well, we're going to get beat. There's no question about it. I mean, that's just kind of that's where you are every week. That's definitely where we are right now as a team. There's not anybody left in our schedule that we can go out and just, play average and beat. We're going to have to play well to beat this Temple team.
I mean, the way the fans look at it, sometimes they say, "Oh, that'll be a win." I mean, I know coaches don't look at it that way. And so, is it a battle to get your players wrapped around, focusing the right way?
I think the players watch the video, so it's probably easier for them. It's probably harder for people on the outside that maybe just, think of a team, and there's some of those teams that maybe people thought before the season, and they're 7-1 or 8-1 or something like that right now, right? So each year is a new year, and I think especially with the NIL, the transfer portal, all the changing, moving clouds out there, I mean, you're going to continue to see this teams that have a poor year one year and then the next year are battling at the very top based off of, how they do in the off season and those kind of things. But yes, it's something you got to always talk to your players about, but ultimately they watch the video. And I promise you, when our offense came in and watched the first 10 or 12 clips of this Temple defense, they figured out real quick, all right, these boys can play.
Obviously, you want to win every game, and I'm sure, as Dwayne Boyle said last week, that, want to go 4-0 in November.
Yeah.
But ideally, maybe outside of the wins and losses, what is progress in these final four?
Yeah, well, I think the number one thing on progress is winning, right? Obviously that's the number one thing that you want to see. But I just want to see I want to see the arrow pointing up, right? And there's been ups and downs, right? We can point back to some positives of the season. We can point to plenty of negatives of the season. It's kind of been right here, and that's really what I've challenged our guys is. This season, yes, there's definitely some things that we're not going to be able to accomplish that we wanted to accomplish mathematically because of where we are. But there's also enough games left that we can, push this thing forward where we feel really good. The senior group could feel really good about how they left the program leaving, and then it would give us a lot of momentum. And we got a lot of returning guys. I think we have maybe 11 or 12 seniors total on this team. And so we got a lot of returning guys. And so I think that the ultimate sign of success is to win, and then the next sign along with that is just seeing us making progress moving forward. And at the end of the day, when you look back at the entire season, you want to be able to say, hey, there's a lot of adversity, right? And then how do you finish, right? And I mentioned it here a couple of times, but I think it's incredible. Tom Brady's podcast with Jim Gray, and they're going through their own troubles and adversity, right? And so literally, I think it was the podcast from a week ago, and Tom Brady was just asking about what do you do in these times where things aren't going well and you're just week after week having adversity. And he went on about an 8-minute, answer, and it was incredible. And literally Sunday, that's how I started our team meeting Sunday, is it would be exactly like if we could get Tom Brady to come in and talk to our team about how do you handle the situation we're in. That's exactly what he spoke to there. And one of the things that he said in there is, yeah, everybody talks about how they want to finish and all that, but the future speaks for everything, right? We'll know in 4 weeks if we overcame the adversity and had resilience and were able to move forward in that. We don't know that right now. That's what the next 4 weeks are truly going to show us. And then there's a lot more messages about, it's how you go to practice. It's about your teammates and the guys that can, those are the guys that can really change it. So really just coming closer together and working harder in practice and meetings and all those things. But one thing that I caught in there that I thought was really accurate is, we'll know in 4 weeks if we were able to overcome the heavy adversity, by the end of the season. So that's ultimately what I want to see is obviously we want to win the games, but I want to see the arrow pointing up and everybody inside the program and outside feeling optimistic about where we are headed into the next season.
It seems like the arrow's been pointing up offensively. No interceptions the last few games. You get
Yeah.
some big plays and moving up and down the field.
Yeah, I think offensively, and again, I just want to point out I was really pleased overall. He definitely made some mistakes, but overall I was pleased with Trey Marsh in his first start. That's the most he's played since he's been here. And the number one thing that I told him that I needed out of him was to protect the ball. Because that Houston defense and defensive ends have created a lot of sack fumbles and interceptions, rush throws, all those things. And Trey struggled with that a few times. You go back to 2 years ago, right? He got to play in one of those games, and I think it was a sack fumble. That wasn't a great play. And then now to come back 2 years later and to play the entire game and protect the football, I thought he managed the offense pretty well. And to complete 70% of his passes in his first start against a really athletic defense. And then also we saw him use his feet, something he maybe hasn't done a whole lot of in the few opportunities that he's gotten. But there was a couple of times Saturday that he went out and made some plays with his feet. So I'm really was overall pleased with his progression to get to where, he was ready for his first start, right? And that's what we talk to our guys all the time about. It's hard being the backup quarterback each and every week because you feel like you're not going to play, all season long. and then all of a sudden you get out there and you're playing, and are you really ready, right? And so we talk about it's better to prepare and an opportunity never come, right, than to not prepare and get that opportunity. But what he showed me, and a lot of people don't know, he didn't practice the first week of the bye week, right? So he was out just with a little injury and something he was working through, so he didn't practice the whole first week, so he really only practiced one of our 2 weeks in the open week. But overall, I was pleased with him, and I do feel offensively, that we're making some progress and doing some things. Defensively, obviously just a very disappointing performance, and just kind of been inconsistent up and down. And it's a combination of, not playing with great fundamentals and technique and some of our tackling, and maybe guys not being in the right position, for some of the passing. And then also, when you're playing a very talented, experienced quarterback, then any little windows, they make you pay. So we know what we got to work on, and that's our plan for this week.
How would you evaluate through 8 games the overall change in scheme and what you tried to do defensively between last year and what you've seen through your coordinator change?
We have not been consistent enough on defense. Last year we weren't consistent enough. This year we're not consistent enough. And I think it's ownership by coaches and players, right? And it starts with me as the head coach, with how we practice and how I do things in our meetings, and then it goes down to each coordinator and their position coaches, and then it goes to the players. They got to do their part as well. So I think there's a lot of people, but to answer your question, we have not been consistent enough in that area to show the progress that we want to see, and that's what we're all expecting to see here these last 4 games.
Do you need to incorporate different types of players through recruiting? Is it more just health is part of it, I'm sure, but just overall, how do you get better?
Yeah, well, I think during the season, right, you focus on what you can do during the season, right, and that's putting your guys in the best position and coaching them better to be able to make and finish some of those plays, and then after the season, you kind of look at that and see, what are some things that we need to add to it. But it's a little bit different than the NFL. Early in the NFL, you get a couple of guys hurt like we did early in our year. Then you can go to the waiver wire, you make some trades and bring a new guy in, or at a minimum, move guys up that maybe you're on a practice squad somewhere else around the country. And college is different. Once you start the season, your roster's pretty much locked in. So whenever you start adding up those injuries on defensive line, some of those positions, you got to coach the other guys up and get them to raise their play.
Is it, with 4 games to go, is it an intentional goal to get Byron Brown in to see what he can do? Is that something you want to do regardless of the game situation, that he needs some time?
I would like to at some point over the 4 games. I think part of it was evaluating Trey last week, and kind of seeing where he was. And I think he played well enough last week for me to feel confident, for us offensively to feel confident that he can lead us forward. Now, somewhere along the way in those 4 games, we would love to find a chance for Byram to get in and get some experience. Obviously, we're kind of now under that 4-game mark where it won't cost him a year of eligibility. That was kind of probably the tricky thing for us last week. And there was a moment there where Trey lost his helmet,
Right, exactly.
and we thought we were going to have to take a guy out. And we were getting ready we were thinking about how we were going to handle that situation because we didn't want to use up one of Byram's 4 games with 5 games to go on one play. So we were thinking through some different scenarios there, and luckily, because it was offsetting penalty or whatever face mask, we got to. But it would be nice. I would like to do it, but that's not the top priority. The top priority is for Trey and the offense to go out and play well and for us to be able to win. But I would assume there's going to be some opportunities, depending on different situations, where we could get Byram in there and get some experience.
I know we've seen him in small doses, but there were a couple of plays where Gunnar Greenwald went in and like an H-back kind of thing, just lethal blocks, just making winning plays. And I know we've seen him in small doses, but to see a guy that you really think has a big future here?
Yeah, we like Gunner a lot, and I think he's been getting better. He's got something going on right now. Wasn't able to practice today. We'll kind of see where he is this week. But he is a guy that has done a really good job with the opportunities that he has, and we believe he has a big future.
Well, you say Gunner's dealing with something didn't practice today. What's the health heading into overall health?
I would say it's the same as it's been, which is not very good. So,
Fair enough.
about where we've been.
Is Jerry Mangum going to play?
Right now, he is still not able to go.
How about Antonio, Jeff?
Yeah, he's still not back with us. I think more than likely, he's been out now for 5 weeks, and he's only played in 4 games this year. And so with everything that he's been, he's still got some of his health issues. So I think between his physical injuries and ailments, and then dealing obviously with the loss of his father and being home for the last 4 weeks, he is just now getting back here. But we're kind of having some of those conversations now, and I don't know if he's going to play the rest of the year. It may be a situation where he needs to kind of take these last 4 weeks mentally and physically to kind of get healthy, and then maybe have an opportunity to come back next year if that's what he chooses. But I don't want to really make that announcement or anything because there's still conversations that are taking place right now.
And then Petit was the other one that.
Yeah, he got banged up. I think he's going to be okay. I mean, we were smart with him today, and we'll be smart with him the rest of the week. He's got a growing, basically. So, we'll hopefully we can get through the week and, have him. He thinks he's going to be able to go Saturday, but we got to see, how that progresses through the week. But he was able to get some reps today in some periods.
You mentioned, Temple's defensive stats and their sacks or TFLs, their overall
Yeah.
defense looks pretty darn good.
Yeah.
How do you explain 70-13 at UCF?
Well,
What happened
it's
there?
not my job to explain that. All I can tell you is what I see when I turn on the video, and and the really is you take that one game stats out, then their whole defensive stats for those other 7 games, is pretty dang impressive. I think that game probably caused a lot of the other overall stats. But as a coach, you look at every game individually and where they are as a team, and I'm just saying with a strong conviction, it's a very good defense. So,
Considering what you just said about
Yeah.
Mangum
Yeah.
and what Dukes did with the 1-yard touchdown,
Yeah.
you can see a guy that you could see was-
Dukes has really progressed. Obviously, Batiste made a ton of plays for us, but Dukes is that guy that's kind of quietly been able to do a lot of good things for us, and obviously we've done some Wildcat things with him, and he's been very consistent. And I think Duke's made a lot of progress from where he was in the spring, getting here, trying to feel his way to where he showed back up in August, now being a guy that we could count on. Obviously, with Mangum's injuries and all those things, we would be in a lot bigger situation if we didn't have Duke stepping up. And then Kelly, I think, is getting closer to being back to 100%. He's been pushing through and getting better. I would say he's probably in that 85 to 90%. So whenever we kind of get him up and going, I think we'll be in good shape there in the running back room. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Pat, how was the marathon?
Everybody, marathon.
Yeah.
I was
He,
in
he runs the 10Ks. Is that what you do?
10Ks.
That's a marathon to me. You act like you don't run.
Yeah.
Hey.
More than a mile.
That's pretty funny. All right, let's see.
All right, we'll start with safety Matt Hill. Take a question for Matthew.
Well, Matt, this is a Temple team that you guys beat last year. Your favorite. You're going on the road. Great opportunity to have success. So, what's your mindset going into this week with everything that's in front of you?
The biggest mindset is, of course, get better every week. We try to go 1-0 every week going into the game. So we just try to. We're really not really focusing on the past. We're just trying to focus on the present and the future of us trying to get the wins we need and the outcomes that we want. But it's just going to take us locking in, not looking in the rearview mirror, and just we got to come out and prepare the hardest that we've prepared for the rest of the season. Because unfortunately, as of last week, we're not really playing for a bowl game anymore, but we're still fighting for our record and for each other. So as long as we keep playing for each other and not really worried about what the outcome was going to be. You know, we should be fine with the season. We should win out hopefully and look forward to it.
I don't know if you were in here or not, what Coach was saying, you know, sometimes fans look at something and say, oh, they beat Temple last year, you know, that's a W. I know coaches don't look at it that way, and as players, do you have to combat against that thinking? Because, you know, as Coach was saying, you put on the film, and they're impressive-looking defense and impressive-looking team, and maybe that perception of, oh, yeah, they got this one isn't really the case.
Of course, you know, Coach Scott, he's shown us a few times on the board the ESPN rankings of some of us, like some of the weekends, we have a 3% chance of winning. But come to the day, he's told us there's 2 teams out there. So it's a 50-50 chance of who's going to win. It don't matter who we're playing. We could be playing number 1 team in the nation. It's going to be 50-50. And as long as you prepare for the game and you work towards what you want the outcome to be, you know, you're going to get it. So it shouldn't really matter who we're playing. We could be playing the 130th team in the nation. You know, we still going to prepare for them like it's anybody else. So as long as we play hard, focus, lock in, and keep pushing, you know, we should see great things.
Beginning of the season, you adjusted to a new role. You know, we talked about a lot about that. Just, you know, through these 8-9 games, just kind of how you felt about it and getting used to it and actually getting game speed reps with it.
Honestly, since I've really made the transition to defense, I've been loving it, especially since I made the move to nickel because sometimes I'm in the box, I'm out the box. It's a different look, and me, how I play football, I feel like it's a good fit for me because I feel like I'm physical, I'm fast, I can read the ball. Still things I need to work on, of course, but other than that, I feel like I've taken the role pretty good. You know, even people who are still playing behind me, Jaden Curry and Chris Townsend, they're still taking the reps just like how they're starting, like even if they were getting the chance to play. But since I made the transition, I've enjoyed it. You know, Coach Shute, he's been pushing me to be the best player I could be, and he's pushing everyone else likewise. But, you know, I'm loving the nickel position and just loving the aggression of the defense.
Between you and Jaden, you know, at that nickel spot, you know, you guys, I think Jaden allowed a touchdown last week, but between the 2 of y'all and between, you know, 500 snaps, something like that, y'all hadn't allowed a touchdown to that point.
Yeah.
Just, you know, at your position, just kind of how much pride did you get in that?
Honestly, with us 3, we kind of got our own little breakdown because, you know, it's nickels. But I would say we carry ourselves pretty good, high with our heads up because we know, like, we're going to go out there and make a difference out there in the game, whether it's in the run game or in the pass game. We're always trying to do something to perfect our game to make it work for the game. And even in practice, we both get on each other, me and Jaden, just about like, oh, what we need to do this play, technique. We're just always trying to get each other better. So that's why I feel like, unfortunately, last weekend was the first time we got scored on, but it's 7 games, 8 games, and it was the first time it happened. So, you know, it's just we work hard in the practice field, and it's just the outcome shows in the game.
Matt, you've incorporated some new players on defense this year in all positions, including the secondary. And ask you about Amaris Brown. You know, he's been in there for most of the season. What's he added? What kind of qualities do you see in him that has helped your defense?
AB definitely has potential to go to the next level. You know, in the cornerback room, AB, he's definitely, I would say, the voice of the cornerback room. He's always, I wouldn't say it's nothing bad, obviously, but like you always hearing AB. He's always trying to make you better. Even if he's on the boundary side, you're gonna hear him on the field side talking to the other corner or to me about something's coming my way or something's coming back to him. He's gonna let you know that he's there and he's ready to play. Cause AB, he's a dog. I would definitely say he's a dog. He doesn't play around, as y'all can tell. 2 picks on the season, probably only 1 touchdown scored on him, 2 touchdowns, not many passes caught on him. You know, if AB keeps having the years that he wants to have, you know, like I said, he'll definitely be a next level defensive back.
So he has a presence verbally, and just, you know he's there.
Definitely since he's gotten here and since he's gotten more comfortable with us, and he's just trying to be a leader that we need. in the defensive backs.
Matt, what's your impression of the Temple offense? It's going to look different than it did last year with the Warner kid at quarterback. Coach noted how he seems to be improving quite a bit the last few weeks. Just wondering, what do you see on film?
I see a lot of plays to where we could attack them in the O-line and D-line up front. I feel like if we play good up front, we should have a good game as long, the defensive ends, the guards, getting back there, stopping the run and getting the pressure on the quarterback. If they doing their job, it's going to make our jobs easier. So I feel like as long as we do what Coach Shoop says and make the plays work, Temple shouldn't really, not say do too much, but we should be expecting a good game.
This game will end a streak of 6 of your 7 games away from Raymond James Stadium, and that was the hurricane.
Yeah.
So, but whatever, it's been a strange stretch. What's it been like for the players to kind of? It just seems like you're on the road all the time.
It's nothing like playing at home. So anytime we get a chance to play at home, we always look forward to it. And then, unfortunately, like you were saying, when we had to go to Fort Lauderdale to play ECU, some of the players, were trying to play at home because it was a home game. But other than that, when we played our first home game against, who did we play home?
Tulane?
Yeah, when Tulane came, I feel like that's when we brought the juice back, bringing in our home stadium, home fans, home locker room, home hotel, It's just something about being at home to where you feel like you got something to prove because football, there's a saying, there's a song too, it's like, you're going to walk in your trap, take over your trap. We don't want no one to do that against us, once it's our home, so we defend our home turf regardless who it is. So just looking forward to being at home again.
You guys have erased some of the slow starts that you guys have had in games. Started neck and neck with Houston, had a lead on Tulane, had a lead on Cincy, but kind of had the opposite of what you had the first couple games and let the lead slip away late. What do you guys have to do to play a full, complete game?
Start fast and finish fast, I just think it's really just up to us playing from snap to finish. I've been told growing up, you play to the echo of the whistle, regardless of the play. You don't stop. So as long as we go to the echo of the whistle, do what we're supposed to, no MAs, just play hard, we'll be fine.
So what you're saying about the home, everybody plays at home and likes to have a home field advantage. The other side of it is if you go on the road and win, there's nothing quite like that trip home, winning on somebody else's field.
Oh, yeah,
you
of
have
course.
that opportunity here. So what do you think about that, just as an incentive for you guys this week to get that feeling?
It's definitely going to be feeling good because, I feel like we're playing another NFL stadium, so it's bigger. But the turnout should be good. Let's see.
You know what I'm saying? When you're on the plane and you're going to want a road game, to visualize what that would be like, how cool that would be for you guys to have a moment like that.
Oh, it's always going to be fun. Every time we get a win on the plane, on the bus, we always have a good time. Coach Scott going to give his little dance in the locker room, do what he does. But, we always look forward to a win, regardless if it's home or away. I feel like we treat a win the same way. But, wins, they last for that day. You win for that 24 hours, and then the next day you got to put it past you on to the next game. So regardless, when we get that win, we're going to dance, cheer, do what we do in the locker room, on the plane, in the locker room, and come home and have fun again.
Thank you, Matt.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
All right, guard, Mr. Harris, making his 27th straight start, 50th career. I don't know if you even know this, Meach. You're going to tie Augie Sanchez and George Selvig for the most career starts in USF history on Saturday.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
For Meach.
That's what's up.
Well, what's your thought about that?
I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I didn't know, 'cause I did. Nah, it's just a testament, just being durable, being available. You know, they say the best ability is availability. Don't matter how fast you can run, how high you can jump. You know, if you're not available, you know, it's no good. So just being available for my team, for my guys. That's big time. I mean, Augie Sanchez, George Shelby. I mean, them two of the greats that's been here. So just having my name in the same breath as them is big time.
When did you get hurt, Beach?
I got hurt ECU game, first half. I got rolled up on. I came out. It was probably like 5 or 6 minutes left in the first half. And checked out my foot. I got an X-ray on it. At the time, it came back negative. And so I came back second half. I played on it. Later that next Monday, I got an MRI on it. I had a small fracture in my foot. So it take like 4 to 6 weeks for it to fully properly heal. But at the time, I came back. I played the whole second half. I didn't miss a beat. I was like, man, I played on it one game. I played on it the whole second half. I felt fine. Obviously, it was hurting afterwards and each week, but the training room and Coach Mo, Coach Scott, we came up with a plan. So I've still been playing on it. I don't need surgery or anything like that. So just a pain tolerance and just grit, just going out there and just being available for my guys.
What's it like during the week and during the game? What kind of grit you got to muster to get this done?
I mean, it's broken. So I mean, it's obviously some pain there. I mean, I'm in the boot right now, just trying to take some pressure off of it. After the games, it's a little swollen, it's a little sore. And then throughout the week, they kind of limit my reps throughout practice. And then in game time, I tape it up real good, take a little ibuprofen, say a prayer. You go out there.
So what is it about you that makes you do this where others probably wouldn't?
A few reasons. I mean, obviously, the biggest reason is, senior year. Nothing is guaranteed. I mean, tomorrow's not guaranteed, but the game. I don't have a next year to come back to. Next year. Hopefully, play at the next level. But then just doing it for my guys. You got Donovan out for the season. I know he wished to be out there. You got Brad. His ab is messed up. We got guys playing different positions. You got a lot of people injured that would love to be out here. So it's like, man, I know I can go. Yeah, it might hurt. I might have to be, go to the training room 6 o'clock in the morning every day. I might have to stay a little bit later than everybody else. But just like I said, just being available, being ready, and then just the type of guy that I am. 50 starts. I haven't been 100% for 50 starts. I remember just my freshman year and stuff like that, playing through ankle injuries and wrist injuries and stuff like that. So I'm not new to it, but it's definitely you got to be tough. Offensive line, you got to be tough, and so you just got to roll with the punches.
And you've not been the only stranger to playing through an injury this year.
Mm-mm.
Weaver's played through it a little bit. Horn. Defensively, there's guys all over the field with casts on one of their hands.
Right.
Just, kind of, what does it help you knowing that you got guys, in the same position as you that are playing through something?
Yeah, most definitely. Just being able to, man, this hurt, but it's like, man, his hurt too, So and then when you go out there pushing, when you're not the only one pushing through something, it's like, okay, I can go a little bit. I can go, a little bit more. I can get a little bit more in training room, practice, whatever. But if it's just by yourself, it can get lonely. It's like, man, they not going through what I'm going through. But you said it. Half the defense got a cast on their arm. We got 5, 6 people out for the season. So just being able to, like I said, be available. And I'm not the only one that's going through this. And the position that we're in right now is not the best, but it's like, at least we're pushing through it. At least I'm giving it all I got. So, when UCF at the end, when the dust settles, I can look back at my season. I can look back at my career and be like, man, I gave everything that I had.
And then along the offensive line, Coach Scott gave credit to Darrell for kind of stepping in and playing getting thrown in the fire.
Yeah.
You know, Hall and Lofton have been, you know, playing a lot together at right guard still, and you guys have kind of been mixing and matching along
Well
the
done.
line. Just, you know, how have you kind of thought, you know, some of those guys have been?
I feel like I ain't gonna say surprised, but just like I'm probably the most proud of Darrell Bailey. The most super athletic. He has all the tools. I mean, 6'5", long arms, and he wants to learn. But you know, at his previous school, he played DN. So just being able to convert from defense to offense, you know, and then like, hey, we're gonna put you on the island too, and you can't get beat. Like that's tough for anybody. And so I feel like he's shown like the most improvement out of everybody. But then you also have Mike Lofton. He'll come in and play tackle. He'll come in and play right guard, left guard. He'll even snap sometimes in practice. You got Lump and just all the guys that's coming in. Like I said, with Donald being down, I'm playing through injury. Brad playing through injury, and them guys, you know, they've been stepping up, and they've been I can honestly say like we haven't really missed a beat. I mean, a few players here and there, like man, if we had him, we had him, but. I mean, overall, I mean, I'm satisfied by how, I mean, his first year really playing, you know, some real meaningful reps. I mean, I can't be more proud of DB and Mike Lofton.
So I know, you know, your parents are military and you probably learned some of these lessons better than others, but just the ability to grind and get stuff done. But not only a football team, but in life, you have people that check out and complain and others who just do their job. So is that just a reflection of who you are?
Yeah, I like I said, I give a lot of credit to my parents, just how they raised me. I've had some great coaches along the way that's helped me, and then just the guys in the room. Like I said, I'm not the only one that's fighting through something. You know, if it's just me, it's like you could probably feel sorry for me, but it's like, man, we got everybody banged up, everybody's nicked up, and then just, I mean, I love playing football. Like I've been playing football since I was 10. I'm 24. Like I've been playing more than half of my life. So, and I know I'm closer to the end than the beginning now. So I'm just trying to cherish every moment. So if that means I gotta go out there on a broke foot, then so be it. Because I mean, I love what I do. I love who I'm working with, and I love who I'm working for. So just trying to cherish all these moments and push through it, because once it's gone, it's gone. And so, like I said, when I look back, when the dust settles and my career here is over, I won't have any regrets.
You look back at kind of, you know, when you started your career, there were a lot of penalties on this team, and this team was, you know, undisciplined at times. And something I noticed at the Houston game was, you know, and it's been a trend the last, you know, year or so, is you guys had one penalty, Houston had 10.
Right.
Just, you know, how much is, you know, what's gone into kind of correcting, you know, what was a glaring issue 3-4 seasons ago?
Yeah, excuse me. I believe just Coach Scott just implementing I mean, it sounds cliche now, but I mean, like that best is the standard, like that high attention to detail, like we say it all the time, like lock in, because we know that if we had 10 penalties, I mean, the game was kind of already, you know, out, but I mean, you add 10 penalties on top of that, it's even worse. So being able to, and that's one of the key points that he says before every game, be the least penalized team. We know, you know, 3-4 years ago, I mean, it was 10 penalties a game, every game, and, you know, we'll find ourselves in a lot of dog fights just simply off penalties, and that was one thing that he really wanted to clean up when he got here. You know, those are things that we control. Those are like mental errors, you know, jumping off sides, face mask, you know, just having your hands in the right position. If we're going on 2, just, hey, on the second clap, that's when we're going to go. So just those small mental things can, they can really change the outlook of a game. They can really change the outcome of the game. Being a 3rd and 1 and 3rd and 6, that completely changes the play call, that changes the play style, momentum, the whole thing. So I think the penalties is one thing that Coach Scott really emphasized, and that we've been doing well at.
So if you grind through a couple more games, I mean, there's been, I don't know, hundreds of players that have played here, and when you leave here, you look at that list of career starts, you'll be on top by yourself.
Yeah.
What's that going to mean that you did that? Particularly with this.
Yeah, like I said, it's a testament to myself. But I mean, I thank God first just allowing me to, you know, be here this long. I mean, I didn't think I was gonna be here 6 years, but I mean, that's the card that I was dealt, and I just tried to make the best out of every situation. Coaches believing in me, playing me as a redshirt freshman. I probably play as a true freshman if I don't get hurt. But then coaches believing in me, training room getting me right when I'm nicked up. And then, like I said, just going out there and like, hey man, I may not be 100%, but I'm gonna give the team everything that I have. So, and then also, you know, just being an offensive lineman, you know, we don't have a lot of stats. You know, it's just false starts and holding calls. So yeah, I got something to lay my hat on. You know, I looked at it like, hey man, I played the most. I started the most games here. You know, we don't have, you know, touchdowns or nothing like that. So that's one thing I really try to, you know, hang my hat on.
Did you just turn 24?
Yeah, October 16th, a couple weeks ago.
So you came here 17, turning 18?
I was 18 already.
You were 18?
Yeah, I was 18 already.
Okay, but
Yeah.
you're a younger, different kid, right?
Yeah.
From what you are now.
Yeah, I was 18, I was 6'2", I was 287 my first day. Like, I remember, I'm 6'3", 315, 320. I done put on some pounds, put on some weight, just life experiences, stuff like that. I'm way different
Yeah.
right now
You
than
leave
what.
here a man, right?
Most definitely.
You came here as a kid.
Most definitely.
You just mentioned the stat thing, and I saw Coach Mogridge, I think it was when Trey went down for playing, he was in Jarrell's face and just very encouraging. Does he or anybody else, you guys, encourage each other after you make a good play as an offensive lineman? Because you don't get it in the stat sheet.
No, we don't. So it's so crazy. We'll do our drive and then we'll come back to the sideline, and me and Brad look at each other, or Trey and DB, like, man, I put him in the dirt on this play. And then sometimes we'll come back like, man, yeah, I got dead on this play. Like, we probably gonna laugh at it tomorrow on film. I might get yelled at or something like that. But it's you have to find a happy medium. You can't get too high, you can't get low. If you put somebody in the ground, you pancake somebody, it's like, good play, go do it again. If you get beat on the pass rush or if you take a wrong step, like, hey man, it's over, next play. So just trying to find that happy medium between, not getting too high, not getting too low, and just next play, because that's all that matters is really the next play.
Meach, starting 50 times for your teams is almost like a service, like you're doing your duty. Both your parents served in the Navy for 12 years.
Right.
What did they teach you about service and duty? Is that part of why you might be setting this record too?
That's definitely have a big part to do with it. Like I said, just being available. Just be like, that's, like I said, just being available. That's the biggest thing. Like, as good as I am, as good as Brad is, and all these other guys, Weaver, J5, all of them, it's like, if they can't play, it really don't matter. So just being available, and then just also with me, like, being a leader, I feel like I've been a leader my whole life since I was, ever since I started playing football, even before I started playing football. And one of the best ways to lead is to serve. So just being able to serve my guys, like, hey man, 6'4" gonna be out there this week. Don't matter, knee broke, foot broke, shoulder banged up, wrist sprained, whatever. Like, 6'4", he gonna tape it up, he gonna suck it up, and he gonna go out there, he gonna give it everything that he has. So just showing the younger guys, like, hey man, you're not gonna be 100%. Like, if you play 50 games, I guarantee you're not gonna be 100%. But it's just like, man, can you push through it? Can you fight through some pain? Are you willing to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and get in that training room when nobody else is in there, when it's just you and the two other guys that's in there that's hurt? So I think just being a leader, and then plus my parents' background, and the way they raised me, it's kind of like a perfect storm.
I mean, there's been studies on pain tolerance and people being prisoners of war and what they can endure, and they say if you train your mind, you can do almost anything. If you train so is that part of it? You got a mindset that can't be broken? Yeah, so, I mean, I'll take y'all through the play. So Dustin had knocked the nose guard over. He fell on my foot. And I was like, man, ain't no way I go out like this. And so, and like I said, man, if I wasn't built the way I was built, if I wasn't raised the way I was raised, if I haven't been through some of the things that I've been through in my life and throughout my career here, I probably would have shut it down. Like, man, it's broken, season over, bump it. Like, it is what it is. But I was like, man, I took the X-ray. They said there was nothing wrong with it. So I was like, man, if there ain't nothing wrong with it, I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play until I cannot play anymore.
I played, like I said, I played the whole second half, and then that next Monday I found out it was a break in it. I was like, I played on it when I freshly broke it. It's 2 days later. Like, y'all not about to hold me out, you know? So, like I said, I love the game. I love the game. I love watching it. When I go home, I watch it. Little league, high school, middle school, NFL, college, like whatever. Like, you know, I love the game. So as long as I can keep playing, I'm gonna keep playing. And I mean, that's it. It's just having that grit, having that grind. Like, nothing's gonna stop me unless I literally cannot go out there and move somebody against their will. I'm gonna be out there.
There's a stat that you and your fellow offensive linemen can rally around, and that is the team is averaging 5 yards per rush. So you got the running backs taking you out to dinner or anything? That's a nice number.
Yeah. I should probably call that or Kelly or one of them. Probably. Yeah. Hey,
You got another
man.
NIL deal, right?
What's up?
That's a back. You just got another.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. So, I mean, it works hand in hand. If they're having success, we're having success. If we're having success, they're having success. So, I mean, it's great. I mean, I think Bat ran for another 100-plus yard game. Probably could have had 200. We keep getting it to him, you know. Like I said, and then the guys up front, you know, next man up. Donovan's out. Trey had to switch positions. DB's in Mike Lofton and Dustin, they rotating. Brad messed up stomach, my broke foot, and we still out there going. And I think that's just Coach Mo, like the way he trains us is next level. Indy is no joke. Team Step is no joke. Just being in the meetings and just the way he trains us and prepares us. And like I said, when it's for the guy that's working through something that hasn't, you know, it's not 100%. It's like, man, we got to go. So everybody playing for each other, and it works out. Appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Thanks,